Welcome to my first podcast. I'm going to call it
La Pasión.
Essentially, I wanted to start off with just some of my interests, just talking about them, giving you a sort of like, I guess, a glimpse into my life or a glimpse into common hobbies that I share and other people may share. I've invited my good friend.
How's it going, guys? I'm Billy. I've known Chris for a long time. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what we get up to.
Yeah. It should be fun. So I want to start off with anime. So anime has been always a big part of my life, especially like growing up because I discovered it very early. So how I discovered it was by accident. I remember I was like 5 to 6 years old and I was scrolling through the channels as a 5 to 6 year old does, looking for tweenies, looking for the CBBC, but I couldn't find it. All I found was Dragon Ball Z, and they were straight up killing each other. And I remember that that violence, it sort of brought me in. And it wasn't just that. It was kind of like knowing, it was like a unconscious knowing that the violence and the level of sort of animation that was being shown was something that you couldn't get on in regular cartoons, because regular cartoons were very much sort of like kid catered. They weren't sort of like showing adult themes. And not saying that as a 5-year-old I should have been indulging in that.
You shouldn't have, bro. You shouldn't have at all.
But I know, like intrinsically, I knew at that age, like this was something different. This is something that sort of enamored me. And it might explain a few things about me, but that's neither here or there. I thought like at that age, that sort of discovery, I never sort of looked back when it came to like animated content. Anime sort of shot up in the things that I watched. So I started off with Dragon Ball Z, as I've already said. And my sort of like journey with Dragon Ball Z was as a kid growing up. So like from the ages of 5 to 10, obviously I couldn't watch the episodes in concurrent order because not only did they not show in order, but I didn't know when to watch them. I didn't know the schedule or anything like that. So I'd watch from episode 20 and then skip to 66, and I didn't know anything that was happening. All I knew is that this is cool as shit and I loved it. And I remember sort of like just that experience of being able to see different types of animation, see how the different characters and different elements brought like a more serious element, like serious tones to the story that they were trying to tell. And that sort of captured me and made me really realize like, yeah, this is for me. So one of the arcs that I liked the most within Dragon Ball Z was, let me start off with the character. My favorite character has always been Gohan. And if you know Gohan, you know that I've had a rocky road because he started off high and then he went downhill. And then he peaks and then goes downhill. But he's just a man trying to study, you know? You can't hold it against him, really. So the reason why I like Gohan so much, because he was a child like me who was also fending himself against like different adults. He was fighting in a war that wasn't really his. And he sort of represented that childlike potential that I wanted to feel like I had, as well as I felt like many people who liked Gohan at the time felt like, oh yeah, this child has a lot of potential. That sort of idea of that you can come up and sort of like hold your own against these seasoned fighters or anything in general. That sort of idea, I fell in love with it. So that was like my first sort of real hook into Dragon Ball Z. And I think that sort of started around about the Saiyan saga. But I'll go to Billy and then he can start off with what anime he started off with and then how he found those animes to be.
Yeah, I've never thought about this, to be fair, because I've been watching anime for so long that it feels like it's just always been in my life. But it had to be a first time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. First anime that I probably saw, I think I must have been in primary school. Of course, I have an older brother. He's about 9 years older than me. And
Oh, nice.
I used to see him watching things like Fist of the North Star and those kind of anime.
Yes.
But at this time, I didn't like recognize that they were anime. I just thought that, oh, like, you know, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And obviously, him being so much older than me, I just wanted to do what he was doing. So I'd always want to sneak in his room, watch these shows, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the first anime that I like watched myself was probably Naruto. And funny enough, One Piece, even though I didn't end up watching One Piece again properly till many years later. But
Don't blame me.
I knew the whole One Piece theme song in primary school. Me and my friend used to sing it. Naruto, we used to run around like ninja, like everyone used to do in primary school.
As we did.
I used to love Neji, Sasuke, Rock Lee, all of that. So I'll say it's probably Naruto. I used to watch it on Jetix, I think it was.
Yeah, it was on Jetix. I
Yeah.
can't remember if it moved from Cartoon Network to Jetix or Jetix to Cartoon Network and back.
Yeah, I can't remember
I know
which
it was
one.
swapping around.
Yeah, but I'll say I'll have to go to Naruto, but that's the first one I recognized as, oh, I really like this, like, and this is like unique, and I'm watching it and I'm actually enjoying it. So yeah, I'll say Naruto.
Okay, when would you say you were sort of hooked? What was the real sort of arc that drew you in?
What, as in Naruto or an anime?
Naruto.
In Naruto, I'll probably say, ooh, I'm actually not sure, you know. I'm actually not sure. 'cause
Think about it. That tuning arc,
it was amazing.
it had everyone in our school talking
Yeah.
about it. So
It really was. It was really good. I would say, because I don't think that I really got hooked onto anime from primary school. I enjoyed Naruto very much. But I'll say when I got hooked, it probably in secondary school, when I actually started seeking it to watch it myself online. Because like you said, you made a good point with Dragon Ball Z that you didn't really get to watch these episodes in order. You just watch whatever episode was on TV
Yeah.
at the time, you know what I mean? I just
were
hope
given
that
what you were given.
when he says, next time on Dragon Ball Z, and the next time, it's literally like 4 episodes later, you're like, where's the correlation? You know what I mean?
yeah. It's just disjointed.
Yeah, but I'll say probably the first time I actually got hooked myself when I was seeking it online, probably from Bleach. So that's when I actually acknowledged that, oh, this is anime. I'm going to go watch this on the website and watch every episode back to back. And then I'll probably like maybe 13 when I got hooked to Bleach. So yeah, 13 and it was Bleach.
So Bleach is the one that really hooked you.
Yeah, that's the one that really hooked me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about Bleach sort of like drew you in? Like what was it that sort of hooked you? Because it hooked both of us.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you. I also used to watch Bleach religiously as well.
It was amazing.
And I remember we used to take a lot of flack because everyone would always be like, Naruto's the best, or we didn't have any One Piece fans in our school, thank God.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, thank God.
I think it was so early on that it didn't have his legs yet. Obviously, people loved it, but it didn't have enough like for people to be die hard for it at that point.
Yeah. Because it was still in like the first 300 episodes.
Yeah, it was still very early days.
Yeah. But like when it came to Bleach, I remember you and I, as well as a few others, would speak about that every single day. We would come in, talk about Bleach, talk about just the different aspects that was happening in Bleach. We loved the music as well. Let's not even get started on that. Yeah, we'll get started on the music soon. But when it came to Bleach, what sort of was the real draw for you?
I think it was just bare stylish. It was just stylish. It was cool. Like the music that you were talking about, the music was just really cool. It was my first time seeing character designs like that. So I think the first time I actually ever saw like a character from Bleach was Hitsugaya. And for those that don't know, Hitsugaya, like, he's not really a main character. He is, but not really. But I thought he was the main character because the show is called Bleach, and he's a kid with white hair. So I'm thinking, this must be the main character. You know what I mean? Like, and then when I watched it, I was like, "Where's the kid like with white hair?" We don't see him till like bare later in the show.
Yeah.
So I think seeing that obviously got me into Bleach. Seeing that character, the character designs was really cool, like I said. And yeah, everything about it was just bare cool. It was really unique. Like Naruto was very much like, they're ninjas. And back then, we didn't obviously know the distinction between like different like, Asian cultures and stuff. So we just assumed that being ninja just means you're Chinese and all that kind of stuff. And back then, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, times have changed. I used to watch all the kind of ninja shows. I used to like all of that stuff. But Bleach was like the first one that made me like know that obviously Japanese culture, all this kind of things. So it's very different.
I had an older cousin, kind of similar to you. I think he was like almost 10 years older than me, something like that. So he showed me another anime called Ninja Scrolls. And Ninja Scrolls is basically Naruto, but more realistic in terms of like people just die all the time.
I think I played a game of Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, it's very gory, so it wasn't for kids at all. I think that's why I didn't take to it. But it had all of the sort of elements of the hand signs, the obviously the scrolls, as well as the whole ninja aspect. So when I saw Naruto, I was like, oh, this is more of the same. This is something that I could actually get into.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Naruto as much as Bleach, just because of the characters that I liked the most got no screen time. So in Naruto, my favorite character, everyone knows, I'm a diehard Rock Lee fan. Rock Lee, genius of hard work. What could I want more in a character other than the fact that they just work hard? That's his OMO. Didn't have no chakra, didn't have any jutsus, no genjutsu, no nothing. Just straight hands and hard work and a good spirit. Rock Lee, chef's kiss. But he had like one good fight,
But
and
he
then you
had-
don't see him for the rest of the...
But that one good fight, though, that was like the fight. To this day, that's one of the best fights in all of the whole show, from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden. Rock Lee versus Gaara.
that's my character.
Literally, you and me both. I
that's
love
my
Rock Lee as well.
Yeah. I think, as you said, he had a very, renowned fight, which is still holds its own. If you were to watch that fight right now, you would feel that same level of hype, etc., etc., especially like when he drops the weights. I think that was the first sort of anime that really sort of done that and had like its moment to where like you're just there like, oh, this weight training is actually insane. What is he about to do?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Did you buy ankle weights because of that?
absolutely not.
I'm not gonna lie. I had those ankle weights on, man. I thought that I literally walked to school one time. Like, I had ankle weights under my trousers, bro. If I just took one misstep, I would have broken my whole ankle. It was that peak, bro. But I was dedicated to the cause. I believed that it would make me run faster. It did not, guys. Don't try it at home.
He really tried to relate to me. Man, ankle weights. You serious?
Come on, guys. Some of you must have done that at home. After seeing the Rock Lee weight training, you bought some ankle weights, put them around your ankles. It would be the key to unlocking the ninjas. You know what I mean?
You did unlock something. A different level of bullying.
You know, fair enough.
But back to Bleach. Like, an element that I found that really sort of drew me in when it came to Bleach was the sort of darker aspect. Because Naruto, because it was, I forgot which was the animation studio. Must have been Funimation or something like that.
Well, the anime Naruto.
Yeah, early on.
I have no idea.
But it was one of those ones, because it was at a time frame to where they couldn't show any blood and gore. A lot of the sort of actual manga stuff was censored. But Bleach, it had that later runtime. So Bleach, I remember it vividly because I was watching it not on Jetix and stuff. Like, you had to find that fake channel that kept on shutting down on Sky. I remember the channel sort of number. It was 196, but I can't remember the channel name.
Oh, I think I've even seen that because they used to like play like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like 2 a.m. or something
Exactly.
silly like that.
I was up. Do you know why I wake up so early? I was up at that time watching those animes religiously from start to finish. So, okay. So when Bleach came out, I used to watch it on there. And at least there was like, they would show like episodes from like a little section. I don't know if it was like from 1 to 20 or something like that. But they'll do that for a week and then they progress, do that for a week, progress. So you had to be tuned in. I remember there was an episode where I think Byakuya came to the human world for the first time and then he stabbed the shit out of Ichigo.
Bro.
he was leaking like a tap. I didn't even know. At this point, I didn't know that humans...
That could be possible, isn't it? You didn't know. You didn't know, bro.
When I was watching it as a child, like, I was like... at this point, I was 14, 15, right? Because this was our teenage years. I was watching like, what's going on? This is a little bit intense. How long is he going to bleed for? And he kept on bleeding. He didn't stop bleeding. And I was hooked. Because I was like, how can a man fight and lose so much blood at the same time?
And
He
the
was leaking
caveat
like a
was
tap.
Byakuya done it with such swiftness as well. It was so effortless, guys. It wasn't like he tried his best to try and harm him. He just took one step and the fight was over.
Exactly.
Like, damn.
Everyone's always talking about aura farmers. Byakuya was an aura farmer before it was cool.
Original, bro.
Nah, actually, Piccolo's always the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, no one can...
We have to put them in. Obviously, I think we've done this before. We put them in like a tier list.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the original Byakuya is definitely up there. Piccolo is obviously the GOAT.
Because Piccolo, he min-maxes aura farming. So like all of his sort of ability, all of his ability to fight, defend himself, not being slain, it goes all into aura farming.
Yep.
He will have that one cool moment where he deflects a beam or anything like that.
And we get swept.
Get swept immediately afterwards. What's all of that screen time for? I think you see his cape flying more than you do seeing him standing upright.
Yeah.
The rest of the fight, he is horizontal. But yeah, Byakuya was the first sort of like introduction into cool characters. And I hated Byakuya because he was so pretentious. And it started introducing like a lot of different elements. Like Bleach is deeper than most people think, because Kubo takes a lot of inspiration from fashion and design and stuff like that, which is why you see it on the splash pages on the manga. You have like different sort of spreads of like, kind of similar to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if anyone knows about that. So he has like a different sort of like artist styles and stuff and fashion styles that he takes from literal fashion magazines and stuff like that, incorporates it into his characters, has a theme for pretty much everything. And the idea of like a hollow side to yourself, as well as like your actual side, fighting your inner demons, I liked it a lot more than what they sort of displayed in Naruto. And not for any reason that is like too deep, just like the way it was portrayed in Bleach resonated more with me than it was in Naruto.
Also, you have to keep in mind that around that age, of course, when you're going through puberty and stuff, a lot of people want to rebel, they want to be rebellious, they want to watch things that they feel like they shouldn't be watching. So Naruto was like, the target audience was a lot younger. That's why things were censored, like the blood and stuff. But Bleach, when you're watching it, you're seeing all this blood and gore, and like you're like, oh, like this is amazing. You want to watch it on the low, like, you know what I mean? You feel like you're an adult because you're watching it. And technically, I think it was like 17 plus or something anyway.
It had to have been.
Yeah.
Because it was only showed after like 9.
That's what I'm saying.
9, 10. Those are the
So when you're watching these type of things, you're just like, damn, like, I'm cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely hear it. Like, I think I was definitely drawn towards it for the similar reasons, for the adult themes, the blood, the gore, the fashion, and the fact that the characters were actually grown up as well.
Yeah, I felt like the characters all meant something. I think that's why Bleach is still one of my favorites, because the characters, they all had a place in the story. It didn't ever feel like anyone would drop off and sort of disappear. Like every single character felt like they can hold their own and they were still doing stuff, even though the main character had his own life. And what I really like is stories that are not only main character focused, because I don't mind that, but you need the supporting cast for things to actually feel alive. And I think that's why people like One Piece a lot, because One Piece is another one where it's like everything is alive, etc., etc. You have like different parts in the world, everyone is sort of doing their own thing, and the world is so massive in One Piece, like you can't even, you literally have to watch everything in order to like
to fully understand like, the depth of it.
Yeah, but at least with Bleach, it was like condensed to the Soul Society and all of that. As well as like, it got a really deep around about the Espada arc. Because you had elements when it came to the Espadas being aspects of death.
Okay.
And then every single Espada had their
different
own sort of
theme.
mini arc, and then they challenged Ichigo's sort of thought process through that. I can't remember I think it was when he was battling his inner hollow for the first time, and then he started going through the sort of previous vows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And his inner hollow is like, you know what? You have to admit to yourself, you're not doing it to protect anyone. You just like fighting. You just like the battle. You just wanna bloody people up. That's it. Because you can't fight as many times as you do and be like, I'm trying to protect people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're trying to protect them, then grab them and run.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, but it wasn't that. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'll call these people to handle it. It was like, nah, I gotta do it myself. I gotta bring them back with my blade.
And if you really think about it, Ichigo, a lot of times people forget his character archetype prior to him going to Soul Society and stuff. He's like a, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho, how Yusuke was just like a
Delinquent.
He's a delinquent. That's what I'm looking for. He's basically a delinquent. Like, he'll bully the bullies. He beats people up in gangs and stuff. That's the kind of character he was. So that obviously followed him to when he actually got powers now,
Yeah.
and he can fully show the extent of his delinquent ways.
And he was always forced into hard situations. It never was like a situation that I felt like he was being too cocky or like too arrogant. Like, sure, there'll be times where he's like, yeah, I've reached this power level, etc., etc. But it wasn't like it didn't come across as distasteful, because again, he's still really young, and like these people are literally trying him because he's the chosen one.
And when you think about it as well, it made it so hard. It made it so easy to root for him, because Ichigo's that story was always the same. He goes into the battle, he'll get destroyed, then he'll come back, go and train. You start rooting for him. He'll come back way stronger, and then handle it with so much finesse every single time. But it always starts with him losing, and I feel like that's always what makes you root for him even more. Like, think about it. He gets a bit strong, then Byakuya comes, humbles him, he goes to train, he comes back, he smokes Byakuya, gets a bit stronger. I think, who did he fight next after that? Kenpachi. No, that was before. Kenpachi was before Byakuya, isn't it? That's when he first got there. Yeah, so Kenpachi, then Byakuya. Next person that humbles him was Aizen. Then Grimmjow humbles him in the most embarrassing way. Okuyura humbles him. He comes back again. It's just one by one. And he keeps coming back and coming back.
Yeah. And then Aizen again. And then, it continues. That's what makes it very compelling. And the fact that because he's getting humbled in these situations, it gives a chance for the supporting cast to sort of like rise and sort of flourish.
And one thing Bleach done really well as well with the supporting cast was, at the time, I didn't know there were fillers, but when I was watching, I was enjoying it. So it gave you a chance to see a lot of the supporting characters just act normal, do things like in day-to-day life, randomly be in Ichigo's room, be like making jokes with him and his family, things like that, where characters that you wouldn't usually care about, now you care about them. So when they go back to that, the more serious tones, you're actually interested in seeing what they do.
One character I'll never care about is Chad. 100%.
You need to leave that guy alone, man.
No, because, okay, my hatred for Chad comes from the fact that he was overhyped. He was Bleach's Piccolo. Essentially, he was toted up to be like the next main, like, right behind Ichigo in terms of power. He's a human that can do it all, etc., etc. And like, he doesn't need any sort of like special Soul Reaper powers or anything like that, because he's naturally strong. He has
Just
like,
him.
he has these different gifts. He had his grandpa is like, I think it was Southern American.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he had his Southern American grandpa who would always support him. He had like the backing of, just that sort of heritage and coming from a hard place. Only for him, as soon as like a person of note comes in, I think he got flicked for 30 minutes straight. He had 2 to 3 different flashbacks on his life after that. And guess what Ichigo was saying?
Chad's got it. He got it covered.
He
Don't
got it
worry.
covered.
He gonna win.
I can't feel him no more.
Pause.
True, pause. Again, like, I can't feel him no more. Where's he gone? Like, his spiritual pressure's gone. So he had his moments and stuff like that. But I think that sort of like departure.
I think that's just bad writing though. I genuinely think it's bad writing because the fact that he's actually part of the main group and he was, like you said, the next pretty much the Piccolo of the group. Like, when I think about it like that, I never thought about it like that before. Where he was like the Shield, the big guy, like 7 feet tall. Everyone that comes, he's the guy that you can rely on. You know what I mean? Like,
It was the typical party, right? Yeah, Orihime, sorry, as the healer,
that's what I'm saying.
Chad as the tank, and
Literally.
DPS, and
Uryu's like the
Uri
range
is the
fighter,
range guy, yeah,
and
yeah,
Ichigo is the
yeah.
main guy that's like all around, but he's the one that'll fight the strongest. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And then Chad just let us down, man.
Yeah, he did.
He just let us down. It's
He
deep.
did. He did.
The only black one, damn, it's deep. We need to talk about that as well. You know,
No,
as
Bleach.
much as we love Bleach, they do black people dirty, man.
No. Keep in mind, yeah, Bleach was the only anime at that time that actually had black representation.
It did.
You had Yoriichi,
True.
who is goated
True.
till this day.
True.
Tozen, sure, he
True.
turned into an insect later on.
Yeah. He's hard. He's hard. Tozen was hard too.
But Tozen was great.
But in
So
my mind, I'm thinking straight about the Chads, the Don Kanonjis, the Charlotte Kunlaho.
Oh, come on, Don Kanoji. He was just a dark-skinned Asian man. He was in Japan.
But-
Just because he had the afro doesn't mean that he was black.
Come on, man.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Charlotte Kunlaho. You remember who that is?
No.
You remember there was that Rancor that used to wear crop tops?
Are you talking about the...
Oh, even him as well, but not even...
I disliked him.
No, and that's not who I'm
Because
even
my
talking
man
about.
was like voodoo. And then he
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Charlotte was the...
Oh, yes.
The black guy, purple hair,
The
crop
fabulous
top.
man.
He was basically gay. Like, that guy... The way they like portrayed all the black people in the show was like very stereotypical, you know what I mean?
Oh, they were over the top and exaggerated.
yeah.
No, but Tozen and Yoriichi, come on now.
Those two, of
Come
course,
on now.
yeah. Them
Come
two
on
were...
now.
They were cool characters, I won't lie.
Yeah. And you had, in the recent one, Thousand Blood Year War Arc, the guy with the sword, I can't remember his
Oh, he's
name.
one of the Lil Barrow.
Yeah, Lily Barrow, as well as the Zero Squad guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I take that back.
Yeah, take it
See,
back,
I
man.
take it back immediately, in fact.
I came out with receipts. Take it back.
Bleach
Take it
actually
back.
has a lot of cool black characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're right. I think I forgot One Piece. One Piece is the racist one.
Nah, same with Naruto. We had to wait until like the... Okay, we had to go past... Oh, sorry. We had to go past Naruto.
Yeah.
Go past Shippuden, halfway, 3/4,
And
until
then
we
see Killer
got
Bee.
Killer Bee.
Yeah.
And then Killer Bee came out rapping. And it wasn't good rap. He was trash.
He was trash.
He was trash.
We made up for it with his fighting ability, though.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. But that was the first iteration of a black character. One Piece, I'm not even sure. Well, you had Blackbeard, who I think may be black.
And to be fair, I even have to defend One Piece a bit with that as well. I'm just throwing out statements. I'm so sorry, guys, for all the anime people out there that probably gonna slander me. One Piece just has bad character design anyway. I
Oh,
feel like
come on now.
anyone can get it. So I can't even just say it's a race thing because anyone can actually get it. There will just be some random characters that will have like a half fish head, then their belly will just be bare fat on one side, and then their lips are just huge.
Yeah,
I've never
One
understood
Piece,
that.
One Piece proportions, I don't understand them, so I cannot explain them.
It doesn't make any sense.
I do not understand them. All of the girls have the same figure, hourglass. But all of the guys is a mixed bag. None of them do leg day though.
None of them.
I hate the triangle bodies that they always portray.
That's why I didn't used to watch it. I used to think that it was so childish until I did end up watching it and realized that it's actually just the best, man. Nah, that story, yeah, I feel like it made me feel feelings that I haven't felt with any other anime. And it's because it's like such a long build up, the payoff is always worth it. You know what I mean?
One question, hold on. When was the last time you watched it?
I think it's been on hiatus now for like 2-3 months.
Oh, you're up to date.
Of course, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the manga or the anime?
Oh, I thought. Nah, I was trying to catch you out. I thought he didn't watch it because he'd been telling me that he was gonna catch up for the longest time.
When I caught up, like now I've been watching it weekly for like 2 years now. I caught up at Wano, and then that's when I started watching it weekly from there. Cause that's like,
I will say this: the quality of fights when it comes to One Piece has gone downhill. It is always a slog, a multi-episode slog, and I feel like in all of the fights, please feel free to crucify me for my opinion. All of the fights, this is the structure. the main characters, they have to list out all of their moves from start to finish, as well as their power-ups from start to finish. And then once they've hit the opponent with all of their moves, they come up with a new move, and that new move is the one that finishes it.
Listen, man, where they lack in the fighting, like choreography, they make up for it in animation. The story itself is the best I've ever seen in my life. The fight animation in these new seasons, you can't like argue it. Walter Egghead Island, the animation for that with the fights against the Gorosei, come on, bro.
The
Amazing.
animation is
Wano.
definitely one of the best.
The animation in Wano, come on, man.
It is cinematically,
It's unparalleled, bro.
it's eye candy. Every single time I watch One Piece, it's eye candy. But when I'm looking at the choreography and how it is systematically, I just dislike it.
And more time, it's like the fights are like the cherry on top for me because, again, the build-up is actually just so good. Like the stories that they tell with like Kuma and his daughter, and when you see the way everything ties together, the Wano arc that literally started all the way from like Punk Hazard, where you see Momonosuke for the first time and Kinemon, then they follow them to build the whole crew together, then they get to Wano, then Wano finally gets liberated. Brother, I could have cried right there. Like, Wano getting liberated is probably one of the... If I could like erase my mind and rewatch all of that again, bro, I would do it, you know. I would actually do it because that moment right there where they finally liberate Wano and you see people that watch One Piece like weekly for years, this is years of their life as well. So we've been waiting years of our real life to see this happen. Then it actually happens, you know what I mean? Come on, bro. That storytelling is unmatched, bro.
I'll give it to you. I wouldn't agree with you, but I'll let you have your opinion.
It's amazing, bro. Have you actually watched the actual anime though? Or do you just read the manga?
I read the manga and I watched bits and pieces.
That's what a lot of people say. That because again, I used to be one of the people that used to just say One Piece is trash, it's childish, don't watch it. And I've done a full 180, and now I'm saying it's the best. If you actually watch the anime like episodically, because obviously it's long, but that's part of the process, isn't it? Like it took me like 2-3 years to catch up. It takes a long time because you're going to take breaks in between. You watch like 100 episodes, you might stop watching it for 6 months, then watch another 100 episodes, then it gets really good, so you watch 200 episodes this time, then take another 6-month break. So it takes a while to actually catch up.
Yeah, I don't have that in me no more.
But your life will change so much.
Nah, I don't have that in me.
I'm telling you, man.
Nah, like what is suggesting to me, I don't have that in
And
me no more.
as somebody that loves anime as well, you'd appreciate, because I'm sure you've realised that the old school type of anime changed from the new school. So old school will have things like the interludes in between episodes were like, back in the day, One Piece used to have it where they'll do like the wanted poster. It will fly in and then...
For the break, the advert breaks.
Yeah, the advert breaks. And then it will play like a different character's theme song. And they'll do that every episode. Things like that, they don't really do anymore in anime. It's like very much like, it's all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess because they realize like on-demand content is superior. So,
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So the format I think has changed. But back then, they had those little things that just made it like...
Those little quirks.
Yeah, that just made it feel more like unique and original.
Let me also chime in because there's one that I want to talk about, 2 animes that I want to speak about. So speaking on old school ones, you remember this tagline, Full Metal Alchemist.
Of course, bro.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Even that's so unique and you know what I mean?
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
That anime, in my opinion, was my sort of like introduction to really sort of like deep elements that made you question. Because Full Metal Alchemist, how I saw it, was always an anime based around sacrifice. The very first thing that you see is the main character sacrificing his brother by accident. And now he's trying to sort of like undo that sacrifice because he didn't realize the weight of what he was actually wishing for. Because that concept of equivalent exchange is like a genie wish. It is a double-edged sword. You don't actually want it. And I think in terms of just the way they sort of like showcased their power system, as well as it was always something like, it wasn't like someone who just had random powers or anything like that. They had to like...
Do something to get it.
Yeah, they had to like handcraft the formulas that they did in order to make the magic circles, and those magic circles were able to draw power. And then,
And I feel like the stronger you are on that show, for the most part, means you sacrificed more to gain whatever that thing is.
Exactly. And like even like the main villains, the homunculi, they are born from thousands of sacrifices. You know, the Philosopher's Stone that everyone's trying to get to, it was born through thousands and thousands of people being slaughtered and killed. You know, so like I remember watching that as a child and being like, I really need to think like, what is the price to my wish? Like it sort of like opened me up to that sort of idea and sort of like concept in my head of, okay, they're very like real world consequences to my actions, and what would I be willing to sacrifice? And that was sort of my start to interest in philosophy in a way. There was also another anime.
Even before you change the anime, because I think that concept of the alchemy itself was so cool, because alchemy actually exists in real life, and that's one of the first times I see the anime as well, where the elements in it can actually be done in real life. You know what I mean? Where obviously it's not magic and spells and stuff, but the law of equivalent exchange through alchemy actually exists through chemistry, like you're talking about.
Yeah,
so we could be in like a science class or something,
exactly,
and be like, oh, okay, this is actually interesting. You know what I mean? So you kind of learning real life things, even the sins, the homunculi were based off different human sins, things like that. We can actually learn something that you can actually take for your day-to-day life and talk about, you know what I mean? So I think that was really interesting as well.
I think that story itself was one where I came close to tears because it was so emotional, because they worked so hard, they sacrificed so much, you know?
You're close to tears, yeah?
Yeah, I came to tears. What can I say? I came to tears. But like they sacrificed so much to the point where like you just wanted to root for them. These were not children who are like going after power for the sake of power.
Yeah.
They just wanted to rectify a mistake that I think...
That's all he wanted to do, get his brother's body back.
Because all he wanted was his mum back, I think.
No, he wanted to get his brother's body back.
No, I'm saying the first wish that he sacrificed his brother for was to get his mum back.
Yeah. And then he ended up losing his brother. And they wanted
and then
to
his dad dipped.
Come on, man. Why would you say it like that?
I can't remember the reason why his dad dipped, but he dipped.
His dad didn't dip. His dad had always been gone. He's one of those dads that just be going on work trips all the time to study alchemy and figure things out, which we later find out the reason for that. But obviously, for people that, if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Did you have a favourite character, by the way, from Fullmetal Alchemist?
I'd have been Edward.
Okay, fair enough.
That clapping was too cold.
It was. Yeah. I don't think. I have one. I have a Scar or Wraith.
Actually, Tell a Lie, King Bradley was my favourite. Tell a Lie.
Yeah, Wraith. Wrath or Wraith? Wrath? How do you say that word? Wrath?
Wrath.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked him as well. Yeah, King Bradley, Wrath, the same person. Yeah. But yeah, what was the other anime you were going to say?
Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, okay.
Ghost in the Shell, I remember watching it when I was like younger. And then I was... Because it talks a lot about politics, and even the name itself gives you like a clue as to what it talks about. So it talks about the essence of what makes a human, and it's in a sort of super futuristic era where everyone sort of has like prosthetic limbs, bodies, etc., etc. So how much can you take away from the actual physical human before it starts becoming a human? And like you even have AIs that sort of touch on that point, as well as like it talks about terrorism and why people are fighting and like the different elements in there, as well as it was the first anime that I watched with a really strong female lead that didn't sort of like fawn over any of the main characters, which was a cool aspect to me. And like she held her own. She wasn't like highly sexualized and stuff like that. She was smart. She did what her job described to do. And she didn't sort of like mince words. She wasn't like one of those characters that sort of fall into the tropes that you see in like Japanese media, where it's like girls are just really weird, in my opinion. But she was a solid character. She was like her own. And like, I feel like that is one that people don't watch. And like, if you were to watch it today and look at the animation, because it's such a story-based thing, it's more like watching, let's say, a detective show or like something like The Sopranos rather than an actual anime.
Yeah.
Because they flesh out the characters so that there's like sort of real conversations, real life sort of like topics that are very much relatable to modern day sort of arcs. I think Ghost in the Shell was when I started where I found my favorite genre of anime, which was psychological, because ones that sort of provoke thought in that sort of aspect, as well as like they open up so many different conversations. I feel like in terms of what I like from anime, it was a good sort of departure from the typical sort of shonen like superpowers, and then we're gonna follow the formula of main character sees adversity, trains for a little bit, trains, or if he doesn't overcome adversity, someone will come in the nick of time, save him, and then he'll train, and then and he gets everything he wants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the way life works, kids.
Exactly. You don't get everything you want.
But yeah, I've actually never seen Ghost in the Shell. I've never actually seen it. Yeah.
I would recommend it. It's definitely one that will sort of like scratch a different type of itch. Okay. So if you like the world building in One Piece, then you'd like this.
Don't say that, man. Trust me. Just don't say it, man. Ghost in the Shell on One Piece. Come on, man.
You've never watched it.
I don't have to watch it, man.
How can you have such a strong opinion without watching?
That's the thing. I would watch the Ghost in the Shell. Like, I love anime enough that like I've seen so much. I can just watch it. How many episodes is it? What I do, like 24 episodes, 60 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a light weekend.
Yeah, it's a light weekend.
But One Piece, come on, man. That's 1,000 episodes plus of.
Just because it has a lot of episodes doesn't mean that the content is like.
It is. You know it is as well.
Come
on, man. You know, man.
It isn't. They drag on the story for a long time. The reason why I didn't speak about One Piece.
Yeah. Don't worry. This is not going to be one of those podcasts where we just argue about One Piece. I assure you guys. Obviously, Chris is up to him where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, One Piece.
I'm not a fan.
You can die on that hill.
I will die there.
Whenever you see me as a guest here, guys, I'm going to advocate for One Piece the best way I can. It's not my favorite anime. I acknowledge it as the best. It is the best, but it's not my favorite. Obviously, you know, Bleach is my favorite anime, but One Piece is the best.
I don't know how we can say that without watching as many anime as you need to in order to like get like a full range.
I've seen over 100 anime, literally.
I would never call an anime the best.
No, but
I'll give you my favorites, but I'll never call it the best.
The reason I can say it's the best is because it ticks all the boxes in regards to the amount of episodes, the quality of the episodes, the animation, the fights, like the characters, everything. A lot of animes, they only have like one or two things that they do well, you know what I mean? But One Piece has been around for so long, it does everything well. It was in the big three 20 years ago, you know what I mean? And it's still relevant today.
I don't think it does pacing well.
Fair enough. Do you enjoy long TV shows?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy like longer movies?
I watch
Do you like longer movies?
I'd watch longer movies. I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but I can recognize a good long movie.
Yeah. Like, I think, obviously, I'll give it a point for that because, yeah, the pacing is long, but again, I feel like the payoff is always worth it. So, something that I can watch for years and it kind of like grows with me, so I can pinpoint different points of times of my life during different seasons of the show. To me, that's like important, you know what I mean? Whereas other anime, I might have forgotten about because, you know, the new formula of anime, 12 episodes, 24 episodes, one season will come out, then another season might come out a year or two later. Unfortunately, that makes a lot of anime forgettable. They're following the same tropes, the same kind of formula. You already know that episode 1's gonna be the intro, episode 6 or 7 is gonna be when they have their first main like thing, then it'll go back down again, and episode 12, 13 it'll go back when it has like its cliffhanger, big bang moment, you know what I mean? But then anime like One Piece, or just older anime in general, like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, I think even Gintama as well. Obviously Gintama's not really linear, it's more like they just do whatever they want. Anime like that, make sure that every character gets their screen time. Even if it takes one whole month, we're only going to be focusing on a random side character. In that 1 month, you could lose your job. You can, a bad thing can happen in your life, you know what I mean? You can get a whole new job, you can move houses, move countries, all that kind of stuff. Then when it finally comes back to the main characters, you're like, oh snap, I forgot what the main characters were even doing. I've been so invested in this character right here. So now you have a whole new love for a whole new thing, but all in the same show, you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I will challenge you like this, right? I think a good hallmark of a story is being able to tell that story in
the concise,
a concise amount of time. I think One Piece, you can tell the story and it doesn't need to be as dragged out. Not every single episode is completely necessary.
Yeah.
Because I do remember watching One Piece, and one of the things that sort of like took me out of watching One Piece was the fact that you would have episodes of pure flashback.
Yeah.
Pure flashback.
I hear it.
Pure flashback.
Obviously, nothing
And it wasn't
perfect.
just, wait. It wasn't just one episode. You'll get that at least like 30% of that one arc.
30%.
It'll be 30% flashback.
Listen, that's a stretch. 30% is a bit crazy. But then my rebuttal to that would be, I hear it. It does happen quite a lot in One Piece. But again, it's part of your life. You know what I mean? So even if they might have waited a week, you're going to be angry that week. But when they come back next week with greatness, it's like a toxic relationship. You know what I mean? Like
You're not even trying to hear the argument I'm saying to you.
That's the thing. Pacing, obviously it's subjective, isn't it? Like some people might like, some people not. And you're right. Most people, in fact, when they do the flashback stuff, it's annoying, you know what I mean? You want to see something new each week, and I understand that completely. But again, the payoff, that's all that's important to me. If the payoff was weak, if they waited all that time doing all that stuff, and the payoff at the end of it wasn't worth it, then I wouldn't be wasting my breath here. Look at a show like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, to this day, I can probably say it's like one of the best TV shows of all time, but the ending was so bad, I would never recommend it to anybody, you know what I mean? Even though
Same.
it was long-winded, but the payoff at certain points was so good that it was worth watching everything they put us through, you know what I mean? But then now when the show actually ended, that payoff was just weak. It was so bad that I'm just like, I wouldn't even tell anyone to waste their time going through that. But if the show actually ended well, come on, bro. That's like, you know what I mean? The show is just unparalleled.
Okay, we'll have a discussion on like what makes an anime or show like really good quality later on. But I feel like this is a good sort of time to sort of cut this episode, because like we've explained our introduction to anime and our progression into it. I'd like to talk more about anime in terms of like the different genres or certain elements that would sort of like are key moments in our sort of anime journey, or just highlighting a specific anime that you don't feel like doesn't shine as much as it should to an audience, and then just sharing that with you. But yeah, I think it was a good discussion.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. And thank you for being on.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Okay.